Hello everybody and welcome to Bull Technology. Several months ago, I came across a listing on Facebook Marketplace for 12 computer towers that was listed for $30. I thought these machines would make an interesting video topic and a great little side project, so needless to say, I made the purchase. So are any of these machines still actually salvageable? Let's find out. After meeting up with the seller and loading the machines into my car, I noticed that many of the computers were in pretty rough shape. But regardless, let's see what we've got, at least here on the surface. So here on the top left, we have one of the more interesting machines. This appears to be a more recent Core i3 based desktop. To its right is one of two Intel Pentium based machines. If I had to guess, I would say this machine is probably about 10 years old. Finishing off the top row are these two compact computers. One is a Dell and the other is HP, both of them being Pentium 4 systems. On the bottom row here, we have two larger Dell Dimension desktops. These are also Pentium 4 based machines, unfortunately. One of the more interesting computers, to me, is this slim Dell Inspiron desktop, and interestingly enough, it is the only machine out of the lot to have originally shipped with Windows Vista. The next computer is very similar to the first machine in that it appears to be another Core i3 based system. And here we have two of the most useless machines out of this lot. These are two pretty old Pentium 4 based Dell Dimension desktops. This next desktop appears to be identical to the other Pentium system from above, and finishing off the lineup is this more recent Dell Optiplex. Overall, not too shabby for $30. So now on to testing. The first machine that I wanted to test was this newer Core i3 system. And this computer here is definitely rougher than some of the other ones. Sadly, we won't be able to test out this computer yet because it doesn't feature a power supply, but I just wanted to note how absolutely filthy the interior of this case was. You can even see several leaves tucked in between the disc cages. A big plus to this machine, though, is that it appears to have a pretty beefy stick of G.Skill Ripjaws RAM installed, and this definitely might come in handy later. The next machine I wanted to test was this small form factor Dell Inspiron 30S. I really do love these older small form factor PCs, and this one appeared to have all of its original components minus the hard drive. After plugging it in, it roared to life, and this appears to be a 775 based Intel Pentium dual-core system. Not bad when you consider the fact that you can upgrade this to a Core 2 Duo. I think with a little bit of elbow grease, this PC will clean up quite nicely. Next, it was time to test one of the two newer Pentium systems. Before powering this machine on, I decided to give it a quick vacuum because of how absolutely filthy the internals were. To be honest, it wouldn't have surprised me if this machine burst into flames when I powered it on, but surprisingly, I was able to get into the BIOS without any issues, and this computer ended up being a 2.8 GHz E5500 based system. Again, not terrible for an everyday machine. Unfortunately, the other Pentium-based system had a broken power inlet jack on the power supply, and given this fault, I wasn't comfortable powering it up with the original power supply, but in the future, I should be able to get this machine working. So now it's time to test out the other Core i3 machine. It needed some RAM, but thankfully I had several sticks lying around, and surprisingly, it booted up with no issues at all. This machine turned out to be a Core i3 3225, which is still a great CPU. Because this system is probably going to be the most competent machine out of the bunch, I decided to give it a deep clean and a few upgrades. First of all, it really needed a good clean. The motherboard assembly, optical drive, power supply, and even front panel I/O ports all needed to be removed so I could scrub the metal housing with soap and water. I also dusted off the motherboard with a paintbrush to remove the built-up dust, and after waiting for everything to dry, it's time for reassembly. While reassembling this PC, I decided to make two significant upgrades. The first was this fairly inexpensive Silicon Power 128GB SSD. This should make the machine feel much more responsive in day-to-day use. And the second upgrade was the RAM. I decided to take the G-Skill RAM stick from the other PC, it was a 4GB module, and reuse it in this machine. After installing Windows 10, this computer restoration was complete. For the sake of time, I won't show the restoration of the Dell Inspiron SFF PC, but it got a similar treatment to the Core i3 machine, minus the SSD. So what exactly did I decide to do with all of these computers? Well, my plan was to flip and sell the more capable PCs and simply give away the more antiquated and useless PCs. So here's how that's turned out. I ended up selling the two very old Dell Dimension systems along with another one I had lying around for $10, which isn't much, but I just wanted to get rid of them. The two other compact Pentium 4 machines I bundled together for $15, and they also found a buyer. I've listed the two larger Dell Dimension systems, but they haven't yet found a home. And the more capable PCs, the i3 system and the Inspiron, well, they both found a home for $80 and $45 respectively. As for the rest of them, well, it's still a slow and ongoing project. Did I earn a ton of money from these machines? Not really. And are any of these machines really that special? Again, not really. But I really enjoy working on old computers, and hey, I got a video out of it as well. So I'd say this project was well worth my time. So be sure to leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe. And thank you all for watching.